And welcome once again to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy podcast, brought live from the 7th Moon of Thunder. I am, of course, El Hombre, local Masquerado, and alongside me...
Yo, it's Captain Fizz!
Captain Fizz. And, we have a loaded show today, so I think for...
Loaded like a chingachonga.
That's probably the most racist thing you've said so far in the show.
Not true. I've had Mexican food today, and I just chimichanga.
Yeah, that's not what it sounded like when you said it. It sounded Chinese.
Well, you know what?
So maybe it's my mind that's
You're the racist.
Up.
Anyways.
Okay.
I forgive my partner.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And so, before we go any further, we're just going to briefly talk about a couple things. Star Wars. Of course, the big news coming out this week is that
Forrest Whitaker. I'm thinking some other...
Lawrence
Taylor?
No.
It's only Lawrence that comes to my mind. Anyways,
Forrest Fishburne, I think, is actually who I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, from like CSI. Morpheus, yeah, from... But no...
We ignore the CSI moments.
Yeah, especially,
he was a joke on there. Anyways, yeah. Forrest Whitaker has been picked to be in Rogue Squadron.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron, which comes out December 2016. This is huge news, because Forrest Whitaker, of course, is an Oscar award-winning actor.
He's a huge name.
Huge name, and he actually does have, a lot of history in doing, sci-fi movies as well. So, probably the biggest movie that comes to mind as far as the sci-fi genre is Species.
Right, yes, absolutely. I completely forgot about him in Species.
So,
you have Lawrence Whitaker, or whatever.
Forrest Whitaker, yeah.
No, you have the other guy stuck in my mind now. I can't think of anything else. All I'm thinking is Morpheus. Pick the blue pill or the red pill.
Yeah,
one will make you tiny, one will make you big.
Okay, I think you're maybe a little bit nuts there, man.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. You think? My goodness.
So what are you looking up over there, buddy?
You know what? I thought, we could, touch quickly on some of the other actors that have already been signed up for this movie. So I'm just quickly going on imdb.com to just quickly go over this.
It's our huge go-to geek network.
Well, it's one of the networks, or one of the sites that I use a lot for this podcast. Another one is comicbook.com. And I also take a lot of information from IGN, which there's a lot of news, of course, coming out of E3 this week.
Yeah, E3 is huge. A lot of big news. While you're searching that, I'm just going to touch on one thing. Star Wars Battlefront.
Yes.
Has been named the best.
It received IGN's Best of E3 2015, so congratulations to them.
Yeah.
That is really big. Another big congratulations should actually go out to Star Wars Episode 7's second trailer. It actually broke the Guinness Book of World Records for most views of a trailer on the first day that it was on YouTube.
This is a huge, huge year for Star Wars.
This is absolutely ginormous movie. So yeah, the other really big name or actor, or in this case actress, that's going to be appearing in Star Wars Rogue One is going to be Felicity Jones, who's probably best known for starring in The Theory of Everything. The Stephen Hawking's biopic that came out.
She was the one who played Stephen Hawking's wife.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful, stunning, and amazing actress.
Across from Eddie Redmayne, who actually won the Oscar for Best Actor.
Yes, and he played the part perfectly. Honestly, it made me see Stephen Hawking in a whole new light, not just an arrogant, stuck-up, bugger.
Well, when you consider that the only way this guy can even communicate now is by, he has this little sensor on his cheek that he twitches for letters. I mean, a lot of people thought, oh, he has a finger. No, it's actually his cheek. And
my cheek did not twitch that way. That was a B, not an A.
Yeah. Okay. And so, but yes, I mean, so with Felicity Jones and now Forrest Whitaker, it's kind of getting exciting because we have these actors that we know can actually perform. I mean, in the past, there has been some criticism that the actors that, have been picked for Star Wars movies aren't necessarily the best.
You got to say this right, though. It isn't exactly a Star Wars movie. It's a spin-off Star Wars movie.
Well, they're expanding the universe. But it's not
too soon. Like, the new one isn't even out yet.
Well, I mean, and while I agree, I think, they want to go off and, jump in there while people are still really excited about this. And this will go off and expand. I know there's been talks of doing a standalone movie about Darth Vader, a standalone movie about Boba Fett.
Yeah, but see, if you look back in history of, like, the X-Men, all their standalone movies, how well did they fare?
Well, it depends on which ones. The first Wolverine movie was absolutely terrible. The only really good thing that came out of that was was Deadpool. And I have a feeling that when the Deadpool movie comes out, they're going to completely change the origin story. Because in a lot of ways, they go off and the X-Men universe completely ignores the fact that movie ever even existed.
Oh, absolutely, because they butchered so many facts, which we comic book lovers pretty much absolutely despise.
I mean,
X-Men 3.
X-Men 3 was absolutely terrible. I have stated on this show in the past that X-Men Days of Future Past is probably one of my favorite. It's actually probably my single favorite Marvel movie that Sony has brought out. Just simply because it went off and pushed the reset button on that whole stupid, X-Men,
Yeah, but even with the whole reset button, and I'm doing the finger quotation marks, it wasn't enough to counteract the damage that was done.
But see, it went off and it was reset, so we're going to be able to see a lot of different stuff. And not only this, but of course now they'll be able to bring out younger versions of the characters, but it undoes a lot of damage. And X-Men 3, which we both obviously despised.
Oh, it was
they killed off two major characters. They killed off Cyclops. They killed off Jean Grey. Rogue goes off and sacrifices her powers.
I wouldn't call Cyclops a major important character.
As if you know anything about the comic series, there comes a time where Cyclops becomes the leader of the X-Men. He actually gives Charles Xavier the boot because Charles Xavier turns into a manipulative old man.
So if we go by what the comic books say, in the future we're going to start seeing Black Spider-Man.
Well, we're already having a black Human Torch. And there's actually, to touch on that,
he's given me news that I've actually never heard yet.
You haven't seen the trailers for the new Fantastic Four movie?
No, I have not.
Okay, so
I should have done more research before we continue this.
The Human Torch, who is, I believe it's Johnny Storm, I believe that's what his name
Johnny
is.
Storm?
Johnny Storm. He is African-American.
Which sounds like a stripper
and
name.
His sister, Susan Storm, is white. So, and their father...
So it's the whole Michael Jackson syndrome.
I'm not really sure. I know the father is African-American as well, and so I'm not sure if...
Yeah, but see, Michael Jackson was the black boy who ended up being raised white.
That's a story for a different show. Maybe when we go back and maybe talk about Robo Chicken. Because they did that whole thing where,
no one can ever talk about Robot Chicken and say anything that happens on that show with a straight face.
Yeah, but it's actually pretty good.
It was a classic TV show.
It's a classic TV show.
We are really getting off topic.
We are completely off topic. But my point is that You jerk.
I
telling you.
so put him off topic.
You put me completely off topic. We're talking about expanding the universe here. And, I mean, this is the backstory. This actually takes place, of course, between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope, when a group of rebels go off and steal the battle plans or the plans, per se, for the Death Star. And
the blueprints to find the one empty hole that they could shoot a little tiny laser into.
Yes, the blueprints. And so, these are the ones who steal it and get into the hands of Princess Leia. So there's actually, a story that kind of... It's the backstory.
It's the backstory to the backstory behind the backstory.
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right.
I really should, discuss... There's an alternative way to go off and watch the Star Wars movies. I can't remember what the name of it is, but what they suggest is you watch Episode 4, New Hope, then Empire Strikes Back, then go back, completely ignore The Phantom Menace, watch Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then jump forward and watch Return of the Jedi to finish up.
Any movie with Jar Jar Binks is already a lost cause.
I don't know. Kevin Smith, on a different podcast, he actually had a great idea for how to do a Jar Jar Binks movie. And one of his first things that he would do was to find a way to slit Jar Jar Binks' throat so he can no longer talk, and to turn him into some, voiceless, deadly killer. Like
R2-D2.
No, R2-D2, he talks. And we just don't understand him.
He is the most foul-mouthed creature in Star Wars. They beep out every word he says.
Exactly. Okay, so we've now covered Star Wars. You had some ideas as to where you wanted to go from here.
Okay. We talked about one of our last episodes, not the last one, but the one before it, where we were talking about the Spider-Man and people that, we thought we were going to be going for Spider-Man.
Yes.
It has been confirmed that a certain person has interviewed for the job. Chandler Riggs, who anyone listening best knows him as Carl from The Walking Dead. Judging from pictures and comments that he has put, he has not he's not going for it. Either he turned it down or they turned it down. But considering he's still in The Walking Dead and there's a lot more coming up with it, chances are he turned it down because of scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, that, from what I understand, filming for The Walking Dead and filming for Captain America Civil War are occurring at the same time.
Yeah, so he would not be a perfect
no way
fit.
Just strictly because, his commitments already to The Walking Dead, there would be no way he would have been able to appear as Spider-Man.
To all the fans of Walking Dead, take note, our actors are getting noticed.
Yes, they are. But yes, he went off and he actually sent out a message on Facebook wishing the other young men good luck, getting the role. And when someone asked him about it, he did, say that he did try out for the part. And that's all he said. He didn't say whether he turned it down or they just passed him over for the role.
Judging from the way he said, he is not going for it for obvious reasons. But that's kind of a very sad point. But it's not worth killing him off in The Walking Dead. So
absolutely not.
Thank you, Chandler. Please continue as Carl. It's where you belong. If you ever hear this, I doubt you will, but...
Well, you never know. It might come up.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe. Okay, next one. Gambit,
yes. Channing Tatum, or is it Tatum Channing?
Channing Tatum. Yeah. Which is probably by far one of the biggest... This is a guy who can actually probably convince a lot of comic-hating women to watch X-Men.
Or just strictly based off, all you have to do is say the words magic bike.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a certain portion of women
out there who actually... undressing just at the mention of his name.
Of that name, absolutely. And But he's also, of course, from the G.I. Joe movies.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's the geek factor in there.
Yeah, he is from a very well